Okay, so today is Sunday, 17th August 2025, a bit past 11 a.m. Already temperatures got up to 31 degrees centigrade, which is about 88 Fahrenheit. Maybe, by the afternoon might be up to 33 degrees centigrade, something like that. Something I don't think I've talked about before is using biofilm as a source of food for newly hatched fry. In a previous video, I described why I don't believe in using green water for raising fry, and I generally rely on powdered fry food. I think the title of that video was the green water myth. So yeah, usually I always feed powdered dry food, but if I have the time, I usually try to provide newly hatched fry with biofilm for them to graze on, in addition to the powdered fry food. You can anybody who wants to know more detail, obviously easy to search for. Biofilm is the slimy sort of layer that forms naturally on most underwater surfaces, and this biofilm might be slimy, might not look very pleasant sometimes, but it contains a lot of microorganisms, bacteria, protozoa, infusoria, etc. Now, obviously, these are small, very small organisms, probably not of much value to larger fry, but for newly hatched fry, they really will provide a good, excellent food source. Now, all these microorganisms, as I say, bacteria, protozoa, infusoria, etc., they're all held together in this sort of slimy film, which gives sugars, proteins, enzymes, etc., coating the underwater surface. As I say, an excellent source of food for MEDAKA fry, and it's really much easier to try and arrange for that for the fry than messing about with green water and have you got the organisms within the green water that the fry could actually feed on. So biofilm grows naturally, as I say, on the side walls and bottom of a tub. You can see in this one it's not the same color as the rim. It's all a bit discolored, and that's the biofilm. Now, there are lots of snails in this tub, and they're munching away happily on this biofilm. So if I got newly hatched fry in a tub, I always want to try and not have any snails there. Otherwise, the snails will eat the biofilm before the fry will. So this sort of biofilm, if you're outdoors, reasonable amount of light, reasonably warm water, you're going to get reasonable growth of the film within about 7 days, and really good growth within, say, 14 days. So, for example, if I've got a container which I hatch out fry in, hatch the eggs to produce fry, I try to mature that container for about a week with water in it before any of the eggs hatch out, and there will be at least some biofilm growing on the walls on the bottom of the container. But biofilm grows better and faster on rougher surfaces like ceramic rings, etc., and even better on organic surfaces such as submerged wood or leaves. So I usually keep some ceramic rings on hand already growing biofilm, and if I've got the time and I remember to do it, I prepare dried tree leaves ready for putting in some water to grow biofilm. You can't put them in too soon, otherwise the leaves start to disintegrate. You've got to maybe put them in, these leaves, within underwater, about 7 days before you think the eggs might hatch out. So this is the process where I grow biofilm. Look at this Trofast tub, maybe 20 litres of water in there. It's matured water from the existing MEDAKA tub. It's quite warm, maybe 25, 26, 27 degrees centigrade. And I've got some I squeezed out from the existing sponge filter, a bit of mold, that'll add a bit of bacteria sort of stuff, organisms to set things off. And then in that I have ceramic rings, which are like this. It's a zip tie, thread the rings on, throw them in. So just throw a whole lot more. So they're sitting there maybe a couple of weeks before I use them. I get a nice sort of growth of biofilm before I put them in a fry hatching container. Now, let me sit down. So, I mean, in my subtropical climate, the leaves which are safe to use in an aquarium include jackfruit leaves, guava leaves, and mango leaves. There's some more, I think. Well, I mean, those are the ones I know. I think in a temperate climate, although I've never done it, but I think you can use oak leaves, beech leaves, mulberry leaves. They're similarly safe in an aquarium or whatever. Now I've got jackfruit tree and a mango tree in my garden. These are the big ones are the mango leaves. The small one is the jackfruit. I just picked those off the tree now, show what they look like. I usually use the jackfruit because they're smaller and probably release less tannins into the water than the mango tree's leaves. Okay, so in some circumstances tannins are good, but maybe shrimp or whatever, I don't really know, but I don't really want too much tannin, it discolours the water, so I use the jackfruit leaves, and they're just about the right size for MEDAKA fry tub. And what I've got here are dried jackfruit leaves. You know, they're about the same size. Now usually I'd leave them out in the sun for a few days to dry like that. Been too much rain lately, so I put them in a microwave. I mean, I think this amount of leaves in a microwave on a high setting takes about 60 seconds to get dry like that. And one leaf this size, probably put one leaf this size for about 10 litres of water in a fry hatching container. So I've got 20 litres like this Trofast tub here. I probably put in 2 of those, and depends how much biofilm I think I've got on there. But that's about what I use. But if I put the ceramic rings in there, leave them as long as I like, doesn't matter. If I put these in now and I don't need them for 3-4 weeks, the leaves will disintegrate. So about 10 days before I think I got fry going to hatch out, I will put them in here to grow biofilm, and then they should have enough biofilm on there to feed newly hatched fry. So going to put some in here now. Let me put in 4. I'll just put them in there. They'll float, but eventually they'll sink. I got maybe 2 fry hatching tubs, which I'll start to collect eggs and put them in there. It'll be about 10 days before the fry hatch out, so that'll be fine. But also, I'll emphasise, always use powdered fry food, but these just have good source of food nutrients for very, very small fry, because the microorganisms that grow in the biofilm are just right for a small mouth to eat. After a while, using powdered dry food is more than enough for fry, more than about a week old. So that's about it. If I'm too busy for this sort of stuff, I just feed powdered dry food right from the beginning, and that's it. And I still get a good or reasonable fry survival rate. But as I say, if I've got time to mess about, I'll do this sort of thing. Okay,